Welcome back. Well, the officials from Ukraine and Russia meeting in Turkey this morning, minus Presidents Putin and Zelensky. Neither showed up. Both sides ended up sending delegates instead. President Trump also did not attend the talks, but he is pushing now for a meeting with Putin first before any movement on peace can be made. Watch.
We're going to get it. We're going to get it done. We got to get it done as soon as we can set it up. I would actually leave here and go. I do want to see my beautiful grandson, it's his son, and we'll be doing that. But I will tell you that the world is a much safer place right now, and I think in 2 or 3 weeks we could have it be a much, much safer place.
President Trump's daughter, Tiffany, gave birth to a baby boy. And our congratulations to the Trump family and President Trump there. Joining me now is Heritage Foundation Vice President of National Security and the author of The Battle for the Jewish State, How Israel and America Can Win. Victoria Coates is back with us. Victoria, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here. So this whole time we're saying, oh, will Putin go? Will he not go? He doesn't show up. And then Zelensky doesn't show up. What do you make of the meetings in Turkey?
Well, good morning, Maria. Yeah, good to be with you. I think it's an important sort of first step, a preliminary step. We've been in this war now for three years and 3 months. It's been a grinding disaster for both sides. And I think President Trump has rightly insisted that we get to a deal, we end the killing. And this is the first time the two sides have really talked. So this is a major achievement to start this discussion, to see what might be possible. And hopefully, as the president said, he'll meet with President Putin. They're really the decision makers, if we're being honest here. And they can lay down their red lines and get to a resolution. And I think that's really what the world wants.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. But, you know, the fact that Putin wouldn't commit to going, I mean, does that suggest he's really not interested in ending this war anytime soon, Victoria?
Well, he's certainly not been a constructive actor, Maria, for the course of this war. He's the one who started it. And I think, you know, that the fact that we've gotten this far is progress. But as the president and Secretary Rubio have said repeatedly, their patience is not infinite. They're not just going to be engaged in this dance ad infinitum. I think they really want to see progress. This is a small step towards that. But that's why I think the president is very interested in meeting with President Putin so he can really get the baseline. Is this possible? Is there a deal to be made here? He thinks there is. I hope he's right.
Oh, that seems like a good idea to me. OK, let's switch gears and talk Iran for a moment, Victoria. I mean, I'd like to know what the Ayatollah is thinking as he watches President Trump on the global stage here in the Middle East with all these deals and partnerships in Saudi and Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. Iran apparently now ready to make a deal on its nuclear ambitions, according to President Trump, if, in fact, the Trump administration lifts the sanctions on Iran. They will be holding nuclear talks with Britain, France, and Germany in Turkey today. And the president said that they are close to an agreement on lifting the sanctions, but a promise that Iran will not enrich uranium. Watch this.
We have an Iran situation, which we're going to take care of. One way or the other, we're taking care of. It'll be taken care of 100%. It'll be done nicely or not nicely, and the not nicely is not a good thing for them. And I think we're talking to them, and I think they've come a long way.
Victoria, your expectation here, and what does President Trump means when he says not nicely? What is that?
Well, the president's keeping all of his options on the table, Maria, as he should. Our position at Heritage is that the president needs all of his options on the table, and he should not be constrained by either those who want to use military force as their first option or by those who take it off the table. I think he's rightly pursuing diplomacy here. Iran was the biggest loser this week by any metric. They were watching the president do deals, as you said, across the Middle East, reinforcing our historic friendships across the Gulf. And that's really important. He went, yes, to Saudi Arabia and UAE, but also to Qatar, countries that were in a full rift during his first term. He brought them back together, and he's making the point we need all our partners and allies in the region. Iran is on the outside here, and I think the most important piece there was his meeting with the new president of Syria, brokered by Mohammed bin Salman, by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. That is a huge signal to Iran that they are out of Syria, that Saudi Arabia and the United States are in. They've lost one of their key hegemons, so they should be strongly motivated to make a deal on the president's terms, and that's what we would like to see.
Yeah, it's a great point because, you know, when the president started talking about giving Syria a fresh start, asking Syria to normalize its relationship with Israel, a lot of people thought, wow, this is a big deal. Imagine if we were to see Syria join the Abraham Accords in exchange for lifting sanctions on the country. The president, of course, has been asking the Saudis to join the Abraham Accords, and, you know, he's been doing so since his first term. So what does this look like? How does the Abraham Accords evolve in this second term, Victoria?
Well, we're already seeing it, Maria. I mean, one of the incredible scenes, and there were so many from this trip, and all of us who, you know, look at this region, spend a lot of time in this region, value this region. This has been just a great week. But maybe the most powerful scene came at the end when he and Sheikh Mohammed, MBZ, visited the synagogue in their Abrahamic Center of Tolerance in Abu Dhabi, a beautiful, beautiful new installation that I've been proud to visit as well. But to see the President of the United States and the President of UAE at a synagogue in Abu Dhabi, and to see the President talking openly in Riyadh about his fervent wish that Saudi Arabia joined the Abraham Accords, this would have been impossible 8 years ago. I mean, the shock and amazement that would have greeted it, I mean, you can't even calculate it. But now it's normal. And so I really think with Saudi, it's a matter of when, not if. I think that decision was made in 2020 when Bahrain and UAE inked their Abraham Accords. So we'll let that situation develop on Saudi's terms. But it's just such a hopeful time. And to see the president building on that incredible success from the first term, to see it continue to flower, is just such a credit to him.
It really is, and you've really encapsulated it perfectly with that. It is a hopeful time. That's true. Victoria, always great to get your perspective. Thanks very much.